I've been talking to myself for like 6 minutes. I don't really know how to start this video, but we're gonna start it anyway. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Civ 7. Okay, great game, just came out. I love it. I did not want to make a review for it until I had actually beaten the game at least one time, and that took a long time. I play on standard mode too. I don't play like on online or quick. I always try to do standard the best I can, just cause standard's, standard. You get like a time. You get a good amount of time. It's not like epic or longer like that, where you're on the game for like ever. But even on this one, I'm still in it on a long time. But we're gonna get down into it. Absolutely. So first things, we're gonna go overall about it real quick. And then we're gonna get into the good and then the bad of the game. And yeah, we're gonna have fun with it. Yeah. So to start the overall of the game, it's actually interesting. My playstyle changed a little bit in this. So I normally went from making production and science my main, but somehow in this one, I changed from food to culture. I don't know how that happened. It's just kind of the way that the age starts not in exploration, but in antiquity. You start kind of better to get more food and culture rather than science, which is kind of interesting. It changed up my playstyle for sure. Another thing, picking civs and cultures, I actually at first thought that was kind of a weird concept. So like what, I pick like Frederick the Great or Harriet Tubman, and then I'm like Siam. I'm the Empire of Siam or Hawaiian or Incan. At first I thought that was kind of a weird concept. Actually, it's a beautiful concept to have. It's actually super cool. Like if you're going for a certain play style, like say you're just on a continent, you're obviously not going to pick like a naval based, person. You're not going to pick like the Hawaiians. You're not going to pick like Spain at first. No, you're going to do, if you're on there, you're going to probably pick like Persia, something more conquering-esque, go with like the French Empire, maybe Prussia, something like that. So with that, it actually creates a kind of nice dynamic playstyle. Because imagine like on Civ 6, you're playing like, Harold Hardrada, or you're playing like Ditto of Carthage, and there's no water. There's like no water. I like doing shuffle maps. There's no water. There's no point for me to have a navy. So you actually get to kind of switch it up. And as time goes on, your playstyle of that game could change. You're like, I'm somewhere by myself. I haven't declared war at all. So why would I pick the Mongol Empire when I could pick like the Khmer or something? Focus on food, culture, science. So at first I was a hater of that. I was like, that's dumb. Like I pick a culture in Civ, I want to stick with that. But no, with it, you actually get like a nice dynamic move to do to, change up as the game goes, which I think is actually a kind of a nice thing. Like even a game I am in now is Xerxes. I went as Prussia conquering, and then I became the Mongol Empire in Exploration Age. There's no one else to conquer. I kind of screwed up picking the Mongols. Like now I'm focusing on exploration, and I'm kind of lacking right now in a game because of that, which I think is a really cool dynamic thing to have. Warfare completely changed. I love it. I love the way they changed it. So now they have it to where you have commanders. So you have naval commanders, you have army commanders, you have squadrons for for airplanes. You even have like an airbase commander, which I think is good, because annoying thing in Civ 6 was getting a unit that you loved. Right? Like, you have a frigate, you have a swordsman or something you really love. They're fully leveled up. I don't want them to die. And then they die, and you're like, I want to die now. I want to die in their place. But they changed it. They gave it kind of like a total war kind of aspect to it. So, you have your commander. They have a radius. Then everyone in it can get bonuses from that. And an army commander or anything can also just increase your yields of a district or of a civ or a city. They can increase like its yields, its production, all that, or they can just be a total fighter, which I think is nice. And then it kind of compacts the fighting too. So how you're like in a giant war, bunch of units, you can literally just put them in the guy. You can put them in the army commander. And it just clears up the board, allows transportation so much easier. We just focus on one guy. And there's a lot of that we'll go over too. But yeah, no, that's a nice aspect. Another good thing, especially with warfare, the AI is actually aggressive. When I first played this game, I had to restart like 3 times because it was either city-states or a civ who was just uber aggressive. The AI in this game is very aggressive, which I actually like, and They actually create airplanes for once. They actually are creating air fighters to fight you. And I think finally the AI is aggressive enough to actually have fun playing. I like that part. Another thing, some of the bad for the overall, obviously the UI kind of sucks right now. They already announced that they're going to change that up. Thank God. There's just some things that don't make sense. Like when I go to my total income to see like my science, culture, gold, happiness, influence, which is a new thing. Kinda. Influence is a little more dynamic, I guess, in this version in Civ 7. But somehow I was getting negative 90 influence. And I'm looking at my other yields. It doesn't tell me why. And then with traders, you don't have a trader capacity, but I can't tell what my traders are. Or if I make a unit rest somewhere on the map, I can't find him. There's no UI to find him. Like the UI definitely needs a lot of work. It's just missing a lot of stuff that it does need. And another thing missing, there's natural disasters. There's no dams. So I settle on a river and my territory just gets ravished by the river every time. I can't build a dam. So I just have to, I build some improvements and then it just keeps getting destroyed. And then it's just kind of a waste of a city where I have like 4 tiles sometimes. They're just gonna get destroyed every like 10 turns or something. That part's annoying. They definitely need some fixes, but overall this is a solid, good game that I love a lot more than I thought I would. But yeah, now we're gonna switch to the good. This one is gonna take a minute because the good is, there's so much good that I love about that game. It's so good. And I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh. I'm not getting the right camera angle to do my flexes. I'm not. Well, that's ruined. All right. So I already talked about it a little bit in the overall, but picking civs and culture, that's so nice. I already explained that in the overall about, you're able to be more dynamic as the ages go through. There being only 3 is interesting, but each turn, even on standard, it takes about 150 turns just for one age. So if you do mess up picking a civ, that's on you. That's literally on you. Like I explained before, like I'm in one where I conquered the continent before the exploration age, and I picked the Mongols because I was expecting more conquering, but I got stuck on that. Now I have to travel. I should have picked like Spain or something. So I think it's nice to have a dynamic. I didn't think it was good at first, but an example I used was you pick like Norway or you pick like Ditto Carthage from Civ 6, and then you end up, there's not a lot of water. So you just pick the naval civ for no reason. So you're able to pick up on things that you may have left behind on, like science. Like science is kind of hard to get in the antiquity age. Culture, you're going to get so much culture. So you're struggling a little bit, or say you're having more alliances, then you'll pick like a more alliance civ, like maybe like the Shawnee or something. And say you stop conquering, you're not doing anything of that, you're more focused on art, you get to pick like a civ that's more about art. You get to get some bonuses from the normal leader and then from the civ. So say you're kind of you want to be more conquery, you're gonna pick like Xerxes or something, or Napoleon, or maybe Frederick the Great. But then as time goes on, you're like, I'm not really conquering anymore. I kind of need more culture, or vice versa, where you're like, I have way too much culture, way too much science, and my surrounding people, my surrounding civs are too strong and keep declaring war on me. So next turn, or next, next age, you're gonna pick a more combat-based civilization. And you're not, so it has a cool thing with it. So, you start as Greece. What comes next? The Normans. And then from that, you become like Prussia. And I think it's a nice history-based, progression of time where Prussia wasn't always around. Prussia wasn't formed until the 1500s. So you start off as Greece, then you progress in the ages, you become the Normans, or you become Spain, and then from there, you become Prussia. And it's like a nice transition of history, which I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, more to touch on. Commanders, I think they're phenomenal. It's like a Total War amazing thing. You get to go on full campaigns with one guy. Focus on that one guy, and it's more kind of realistic to wars and throughout history. No one really knows about the phallic men under Alexander the Great. You know, we don't really know about them. We know about Alexander the Great. He's an army commander in Civ 6, basically. Or Civ 7, whatever. He's an army commander. So all the units dying, it's no longer a struggle to make a bunch of units who then just die. And you're like, wow, I had that guy for like 50 turns, upgraded him 4 times, and now he's dead. Army commanders don't die. They get incapacitated. So you lose them for like 20-ish turns or so, and then they come back. Which I think is... I'm indifferent about it. You know, it's nice to someone who you had like kept up for so long with. Actually, to go on that with the UI, we're not bad yet, but you know, this is kind of a thing with army commanders or anything. You don't really get a notification when someone gets attacked or is nearby enemies. That's just with cities. So like if you're moving your art, this has happened to me a couple of times, especially with like fleet commanders. Like I'll have them moving very far away to like a new enemy who's like way far away from me, right? And then out of nowhere they get mollywopped by 4 frigates owned by Charlemagne or something, and they get mollywopped, and I didn't get a warning about it until they die. So some UI things could be changed with that, but army commanders are just nice. You get to compact your units, easier travel. The way they upgrade is so nice, so you don't have to worry about units dying or anything like that. You're like, that guy died? All right, let's make another one. Let's keep going with it, you know? And then you get all different kinds. You have your normal army commanders, naval commanders, you have squadron commanders, and then you have air base commanders, which they're like squadron commanders, but they're just at the base, I guess. And then you have your you have your aircraft carrier, which carries planes. That's another leader. So it just kind of adds to the combat to make it a little better, kind of more like Total War Rome, if you want. It's just to give it more of like an actual, like, I guess like board game feel, like you're actually playing a strategy game instead of just like kind of like just chess with it. You're like, I'm gonna move that unit on that unit to attack. No, you're like actually like making strategy with flanking, actually getting the right people, doing things that would actually benefit you better. I like that better with the commanders. Yeah, a thing I talked about too was the AI actually being aggressive, having planes. I had to restart 3 times when I first bought this game because the AI was way too aggressive. Way too aggressive, and I love that. I love that I'm actually getting attacked. Like I'll have, you know, in the exploration, you know, start like doing like little island hopping, you know, get someone here, someone there, so you can get treasure fleets. And no, literally in a game against Augustus, he kept going after my towns that had no units on it. Like they'll scout out and they'll find a town with no one in it, and they will attack it. I've had a couple taken away because I was just careless about it, which is such a nice touch to have, that the AI actually being a problem. I love that. Reset ages are kind of nice. So there's 3 ages. You got your antiquity, you have your exploration, and you have your modern. You know, they classed up the human history into 3 ages, which is I'm indifferent about. It's nice to have 3, I guess. You know, you get to, like I said before, you get to have a little bit more color with it. You get to change, be dynamic. Dude, let's do a dynamic counter. Let's put it up like 5,000 times. I've said dynamic this time, but that's just how Civ 7 is. It's a very dynamic game, allowing you to make change, which I like. But the reset age is fine, kinda. It's annoying. So like when an age resets, it hard resets. So you could lose all your units because it's just, you have to, how to put this? You could have 30 units and it's gonna cut it down to like 10 because it's resetting and it's like filling up towns with the amount of units that it can have. And then if you build like 10 ships, you're gonna get down to like 1. It's kind of annoying, but good that you're able to make the changes by picking a new Civ and everything like that. But it's kind of just sucks because I was at war with Charlemagne. I was getting annoyed with him constantly declaring war on me, so I was just raising his cities. And after like a long, hard fought battle, because there's giant mountain tile covering it, I can only go in by river half the time. I finally was about to get it, and then the age reset. It went to the next age, and everyone's at peace. There's no more alliances. And this is the thing I'm going to touch on in the bad section is, it's good and bad. but it resets city-states. So city-state starts like a tribe or like a barbarian camp, basically. You start there, and then you use influence to create them into a city-state. But when this age resets, they're gone, and then a new one forms after like 10 turns. A new one comes for you to remake into a city-state. So it's good. You get to kind of just start anew almost. But that's kind of the dumb thing, is you don't snowball and you like hard reset. It's good and bad. Resources are new and improved. I think they really are. So instead of having you need a certain resource to make a unit, the resource just is forever. So you have resources that are for all your empire, and then ones that are bonuses. So you get like fish, it's a bonus. You know, you get like 3+ food in a town, or +6 if it's like in a distant lands. Depending on your age, the resources change. But if you have iron and you have like 8 iron, you get +8 attack for your people. If you get gold, you get 20% off gold when it comes to buying buildings. Silver, in terms of buying units, you get a discount on. And I think that's kind of a nice barrier to not make you suffer. Because imagine, you know, like in Civ 6, you're playing, you can't find niter to save your life, or you're at the beginning era and you can't find iron to save your life. And now what? You just don't gain access to strong units. So now you're just gonna get steambolled by freaking Machu Picchu. They're gonna just come down and beat the tar out of you because you couldn't find iron. No, so I like the way they implemented resources. I think it's way better about giving bonuses to cities instead of just having, find aluminum and now you can finally build a plane. So then you have to search for aluminum. And then sometimes there's a game where you don't have aluminum. So what, now I can never build a plane? I have to wait until stealth bombers or something? No, so it's just a constant bonus to you forever. And I like that. It's a new way to do it, and I think it's nice. I think it's way better. This one I really love is each culture has unique units. Not like, you know, like Mongolia has Kashyyyks, or Frederick has its unique horseman and, you know, airplane fighter, whatever, things like that. No, like the unit is actually unique. So it's not like, oh, swordsmen, you know, their skin tone's different colors like on their garbs, all that. No, like it's actually unique. And I wrote, to get my bachelor's degree in history, I actually wrote about the World War I landship tanks in Great Britain during the First World War. Dude, I was so excited to get a landship, but I was France. I was Napoleon, and I got the dumb French tank. They didn't even make them that well because they could get shot by a pistol on the side. They were so weak, but it's still cool. Germany has their unique tanks, you know, that thing. The Roland Fortress, I think I made like 100 of them, or like 10 of them. But it's cool that each unit is actually unique. Like Mongolia, they get their Laminar armor, you know, they get their strips of metal all over there, have their unique Hussar helmets almost. Hot Hussar helmets. But each unit has just a unique flavor to it, and they actually are unique. Like the Normans, they have their kite shields, and they only wear like chainmail, and they have like that steel cap helmet. And then meanwhile, someone else just having a swordsman, like if they're Egyptian, they look Mamelukian, which I think is just dope. Like there's just so much uniqueness to civs now in their units. Like when I was fighting someone who's Hawaii, they literally look like Hawaiian fighters. Yeah. They had like grass and like flak shirts and everything. They were using like, you know, wood clubs, and they had giant wicker shields. Like they just had a bunch of cool things to make them unique in the way that they actually were in like history. And I think that's so dope. They, you know, just actually uniqueness to being a Civ now when it comes to the military. Like they look clean, they look good, they look like how they actually were. It adds like a nice flavor to it because it makes you want to play every Civ to see like how they all look through history. Like it was so cool. Even the army commanders. And when you upgrade them, they're like helmet changes. So like I played as the Norman. So first like they have like Crusader helmets, obviously. Then they have like golden eagles on top. Then they have the wings and everything. And they like change with each upgrade. And it was just, chef's kiss right there. Just the ability to have them change and look cool like that. I love it so much. Yeah, so obviously like a big good now is navigable rivers is so nice. it's so nice that they're able, you know, when you have a river, now you actually have to defend it. It was a big thing throughout history for warfare to go up a river. Obviously, a ship can go up a river. A frigate isn't that big. A galley is not that big. They can go up a river. Like, and I think that just adds so much more to combat now, because now you actually have to defend a city that's in the river. Like, if you build it, like, you know, a couple spaces away so they can't shoot it, you're like, oh, I'm safe now in Civ 6. But in this one, we going up the river, boy. We getting you. And I think it just adds more to combat, which is the greatest thing to happen, is for Civ 7 to really focus on military, really making it better and flushed out, making it just nice, different way for you to do things. No longer just, I have a strong unit, stronger than theirs, I'm gonna win. No, you actually have to use strategy. You have to be like way better, learn, make good tactics, because each mistake is gonna screw you up, and I love that. I love that if I make a mistake, I actually will die. I will screw up. I love that. So another thing is city limits. I think it's good, but also bad. So like a good thing is, so you have a settlement limit at the beginning. You start off with like 4, and if you're Xerxes, you start off with 5. So you can only have 5 settlements, but you're not saying you only can have 5. You can have more. You just get negative happiness, -5 per city, and then a max at 35 for right now. Currently, they might change it. Who knows? But I think it's cool in a different way. I actually hate the settlement limit. I'm not gonna lie, but I like what it does. That's good. Let me explain. So you can fall behind in science and culture, right? Like if you don't research the right tradition slots for policies, you can never learn them again. They're just gone. You messed up. Like just settlement limits. You get +1 for certain technologies and civics you research, so you can actually max out. I think in the antiquity age, probably around like 12 settlements. You can max out pretty hard if you get all of it. Somewhere around there. And then like exploration, you can get up almost to like the 20s, past 20. And then obviously modern, probably past 30. But if you don't focus on the science and culture, you're actually gonna fall behind in certain aspects of the game. So that's why I think settlement limit is good, even though I kind of hate it. I hate it that I can't settle more or conquer more and I get negative happiness. However, that's because I'm not focusing on science and culture. It's because I'm mucking up by not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's a nice way for you to, you're like, okay, I'm lacking in science, hardcore. Let me pay some money, buy some observatories and stuff, and get my science up to get more settlements, so then I can keep doing what I'm trying to do. So I think it's a nice, you're forced to look into these other things. Because in Civ 6, I mean, policy slots are good. You know, getting your culture up is fine. But half the time, I didn't care. I would build the occasional amphitheater just to get some works of art. Or because I already had works of art and I couldn't put them anywhere. So I was like, oh, I have to build an amphitheater. But I just focused on science. And I like in this, it's forcing you to do both. Like, if you want to be a good conqueror, you have to have science and culture. You have to do it. And I think that's why that's good. Okay. Now we're on the bad. Yes, we are. Lord have mercy, we're on the bad now. So bad. Overall, there's not a lot that I hate about the game. It's more niche things, or just things where like, this could make the game so much better. I know they're probably gonna add stuff to make it better, but it's just currently right now they've only had like 2-3 updates to the game, and just things that should have been initial at launch, which I think is stupid. So like first off is, there's a Greek culture. Most Europeans, like civilizations, start at the Greek era or the Roman era, but there's no Greek Civ. There's no Pericles, no Gorgo, no Leonidas, there's no Socrates or anything like that. There's no special person from Greece. There's nothing like that. And I think that's kind of a weird thing to do. So like we have the Kingdom of Siam, we have Hawaii. There's none. There's no Civ for that. And they're gonna add it in DLC, but I think that's crummy to add it in DLC, you know? Like there's 2 French people. There's 1 Prussian. There's Charlemagne. Actually, wait. Charlemagne, you can make Iron Man, well, he's German or France. He's more French. So technically there's like 3 French dudes. Come on. There's 3 French dudes, not a single dude for Hawaii, no one for Siam, no one for Greece, no one for a lot of them. That's dumb. They should have been added at the start. Like, if you're gonna have the Greek civ, have the other civ. That's a little nitpicky. Obviously, you're gonna add more time. And they start off with a huge roster anyway. There's like, what, 15 leaders you can pick from, which is great. But I think it's just weird to add, to add those and not have the civ with it. That's just my thing. I think that's weird. And they should have it. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Add a little bit of spice, more flavor to this game. Alright? So another thing that's, I guess you could make an argument of it being good is buildings lose their purpose each era, almost, unless they're ageless. So like a woodcutter gives you +1 on all woodcutting camps and like mines, things like that. They're ageless. That's fine. That's cool. That's fine. Right? However, you build a lighthouse in the exploration era, next era, it's useless. It doesn't do anything. So you have to replace it. But on that note, with building stuff, I mean, I think it's good there's no longer a builder and you just improve a slot and then you can put like 2 different buildings on one slot. That's cool and all. However, if I'm building a bazaar and the next era it does nothing, that tile is just whatever its base thing was. So now it's giving me 3 influence in a production while it was giving me 7 gold last era. My headset just died. That's fine. I didn't really need it. My software, they know I'm on the bad section. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear the bad section of it. They don't want to hear that part. They don't want to hear that. There you go. That's so stupid. All right, whatever. I get to see with that. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, replacing buildings. So it's kind of dumb. And like you build libraries at the start, you get your science. And then next age comes, you lose all that science because that building does not matter anymore. I think that's a lot of stances with these that I think are bad. So there's a good because then as you're building your metropolis and city up, it's becoming more, around that age. They weren't having, wood hut freaking bazaars in the exploration age. They were building out of stone, making it look nice. So, it's nice, the buildings improve, your metropolis becomes bigger, becomes better, but now you just have a building that's useless, and you either gotta pay money to fix it, or take your time rebuilding over it, which can take a town, 10 turns to build 1 new building, or you gotta spend a bunch of cash for it. So it's a good way to make you focus on money, but at the same time, you're like, so they're not gonna use this building at all? This library? It's not gonna give me any science, it's just a waste of time now. I think it should give me like maybe half or a third of what it was doing. That's the only thing I think it should do, not just be a completely useless building that's just there taking up space. I think that part's dumb. I think that's actually good. Do like a reduction. Do like a third or something. Give me like 1 science at least. Give daddy 1 damn, give him 1 thing from it. Don't just have it be there for no reason. All right, we're gonna rapid fire this one. No dams. Already talked about that. That's stupid. That's stupid. So now I just have this navigable river that just constantly floods. I can't build anything on it because it's gonna flood. And I have to either repair it or pay money to fix it. And it's just there forever as a screw up. That's stupid. No auto explore. That's dumb. That's stupid. What do you mean? It's a scout. They're not used for anything else. They're just a scout. They're just looking around. Have auto explore. I don't care what they explore. Have them explore. That's it. I did see a video that they are literally adding that. They are legitimately adding auto explore very soon as one of the issues with like the UI. So that I think is super good. I think that's good. Should have been at launch though. I'm a bad streamer. My phone's going off. No cool wonders. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not happy with the wonders that are on this. I like that they added a lot of new ones. That is cool. Like the Great Stele. Never heard of it. Apparently it was an Ethiopian religious altar. That's cool. But where's my mausoleum of Holocarnassus? Where's my cool wonders? The Colossus kind of looks a little bland, so I'm not gonna lie. They do change it every game, from what I've seen. I don't like the look of it right now. Could look better. And then just that, there's not a lot of wonders. And natural wonders, there's not a lot. Or maybe I just haven't seen a lot. But all the wonders I've seen so far, I'm not in love with. There's a lot of cool, I mean, like the red fort's kind of cool. It acts as a fortress. Gets some gold. Gets 50 plus health in the city. So like there's a lot of ones that are useful. But there's nothing like awe-inspiring. They always have the pyramids. Always have the Eiffel Tower. They added the Brandenburg Gate. That was in Civ 6. I think that was in other ones. So it's cool. Like they really took their time adding ones that we had never seen before. Or were like past Civ 6. But there's none that are like awe-blowing where you're like, that's cool. I like that one. I like that. That's really cool. There's really nothing like that. It's just ones we've already seen or ones that are unheard of, but they're not that cool. So I want more cool wonders. They're obviously going to add that. Duh. But I want it now. All right? Come on. I paid $70 for the game. Give it to me. Oh yeah, speaking of wonders, yeah, they don't build brick by brick. And this is going to be another point that's not really that necessary. I hate the voice narrator. I miss Sean Bean. Sean Bean's voice is so beautiful. Come on. He's Ned Stark and Boromir. Like, he was so great as a voice actor. The new person, I don't really care about. That's really it. I just don't really care. Her voice is fine. It's just a nitpick thing of not my fave. That's it. There's nothing else to that. And the fact they don't get built brick by brick. Of course I want to see the Oracle of Delphi get built brick by brick. That's so cool. But then to see it just, you know, like 2D animation, stop motion it for a minute there where it's like, you know, boop, 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 boop. Not continuously building it brick by brick was just a nice, just kind of flavor touch just to make the game just honestly nice and beautiful. But now it just gets, you know, stop motion. Just dumb. That's it. That's a nitpick. It's not a nitpick. I like it. I'm too used to it. I feel like still a nitpick. My yields aren't shown. So it shows me like what towns get gold, right? What's getting negative in gold? What's giving me influence? Give me science, culture. That's cool. That's normal. But then I go down and I see other yields. Why am I getting negative 90 influence and you won't tell me why? Tell me why I'm getting negative influence. Are people denouncing me? Are they doing like espionage against me? Why is it 90? And why am I not being told about it? That's stupid. Like clicking on the gold, trying to see like all your yields, everything like that. And in the other field, it won't tell you. It won't tell you why you're getting negative gold or anything like that. It won't tell you. I think that's stupid. Obviously, it's influenced from people giving me trades or doing actions against me. Or maybe I burned down a village and they're crying about it. Come on, guys. I burned down their village. I don't know why they're crying about it. But just things like that. Like, the UI just needs to be fixed and polished. Like, tell me why I'm getting negative things and you're not telling me why. Alright? Tell me that. Peace deals suck, kinda. I think it's... So, peace deals are now just settlements. There's no gold. No resources, no nothing. It's just settlements. I think it's nice that the civilizations actually give you settlements in a peace deal, but the fact it's only that is kind of dumb. Like, why couldn't they make it where, like, I don't know, they give me some of their units or something. They give me the gold, like normal. They give me their resources for like 30 turns. Just things like that make it better. But no, it's just their settlements. I don't want your settlement. I don't want it that far away. I think it's dumb. I think it should be improved upon. A good bad, warfare gets very tedious, especially with the no search up, because, dude, sometimes my turns take like 10 minutes just for one turn because of how big the wars get. That's good and bad. It's just one of those things that's just good and bad because the game is just so big. There's so much. Warfare can get tedious, so you gotta like lock in when it comes to the modern era for sure. That's just a tedious thing. Multiplayer, kind of hard to connect to by friends. That's just a tedious. I know they'll fix it. Civ 6 had that issues a lot. It's because they don't have dedicated servers. Civ 6 didn't. It was player on player based. But even with all our good internet, it still didn't do it right. for whatever reason. That's just a nitpick thing that they'll fix. Better fix. I think the modern age goes by too quick because I'll paint you a picture. Okay, so you start out, you're in the Napoleonic era, right? You're chilling. You got your, you got an Imperial, you got field cannons and stuff. You still got mortars, basically. You're still dealing with exploration era, ships. And then here's your science, right? Here's where you start. Next turn. Next, you're in the modern era. You're getting ironclads. You're getting more automatic weapons and everything. And next thing you know, you're getting tanks. So you kind of don't get to like have fun with the Napoleonic era, guys. It just immediately turns into, modern era. You're going into World War One, and then it just goes by too quick. Next time you're in World War One, you get a little second to breathe with your World War One takes. You get to have your fun, and then World War Two, and then modern, and then you're like, all right, that was fun. I guess I didn't have to have them that much. So the Napoleonic era and World War One, it's just too short. Too short. You don't get to have fun with them. And then it goes, World War One. Then you get a little break. You're with them for a while, and then you go into World War II era weapons. And then you go kind of into modern. Kind of. It's kind of the weird thing about the modern era. It kind of stops, I guess, kind of like the Cold War era beginning. Like in the Korea War is kind of where it stops at. I know they're going to add future eras in the DLC, obviously, but it's just weird to hard stop just right there at World War II. I think that's weird. I literally wrote, trade is not it. Like, I don't have a trader capacity, which, good or bad, I guess, depending on what you think. But I don't like that I can't see it. I can't, unless it's somewhere trapped in the UI that I just can't find. Like, you really have to click and try to find everything in it. You have to really look for it. But I can't find where my traders are. It's probably hidden somewhere, but I can't find it. It's not at the top where it normally is, where it shows me. That's kind of the biggest thing, is you really have to look around for stuff in this one, trying to find where things are. Like trying to find the economic science mission trees to get those upgrades. That's kind of weird to find. It took me a second to find it. Actually, it took me like 100 turns to find it. It's just, the UI, it's just the biggest thing. The UI just needs to be fixed. Make it more, let me find stuff that I want to find, bro. Don't confine me, all right? Let me out. Let me find what I want to find. And then that comes immediately to the next thing of, I can't look up units. So normally in Civ 6, click on a unit, click on their name, gets a little scroll wheel, right? You get to see all your units. You're like, there's my traders, there's my settler, my scout, my things, my people. Where are they? Great people, all that stuff. You can't find that now. I can't look up, I had a scout. He's somewhere. He's somewhere on the map. I don't know where, and I don't want to find it because I'm in the modern age. I see the whole map. He's somewhere. I don't know. I clicked for him to go somewhere, and I don't know what happened to him. He's just gone. He's gone rogue, and you can't look him up. I think that's dumb. I think that's stupid. And it's the biggest thing. Just the UI. Fix the goddamn UI. Okay. Now we're at the end. Let's breathe. Breathe through your diaphragm. Get in a big gulp of air. This was a long video. Very long. Yeah. But you stuck by it. I'm proud of you. Overall, for the game, just final notes on it. I love it. I absolutely love it. All these people saying they're like, oh my god, Civ 4 was the greatest thing I've ever played in my life. Civ 5, oh my god. Calm down. Civ 7 is a great game. Do I miss my Pixar looking Civs? Of course. But Civ 7 is such a fun new thing. They did so many new things with it, and we're gonna say it again, dynamic. There's just so many things to make the game dynamic, make it play well, make it good. And I don't know, I'd give the game an 8.8, I think, just because there should be a lot of things in it that should already be in the game, right? Dams. Give me dams. What's wrong with you? Give me dams. Let me see my trader capacity. Let me search up units. Let me see things that are in previous games that allow me to see at the beginning. But that's how it is with Civ. Yeah, that's how most games. They come out, Really good. They need a fix. They need a little fix here and there. But no, besides that, no, solid game. Really plays like Total War almost in terms of combat. Really added to it. Really kind of overhauled it to make it way better than it was in Civ 6. Way better. And that's really it. It's just a fun game. Is it worth $70? I don't think any game should be worth $70. I'm not paying $5,000 for GTA 7. No. GTA 6, whatever. GTA 7 will be $1,000. That'll be a mortgage when that comes out, when I'm 500 years old. That's a whole nother thing. I'm never good at any videos. Oh no. Let's do a blooper reel. Let's do that, yeah. Yeah. And then this will be the end of it. Did you like that? Did you like seeing that? Me set up? Yeah, it took my time, huh? Anyway, yeah, overall Civ 7, I think it's a great introduction for you to get into the series because there's so much to it. It adds so many brand new things for old players too. And overall, it's just a really fun game to enjoy. It's just one of those things that they took a little out of the oven too quick, but just put it back in, finish it, make it good. And overall, yeah, it's just a solid game that I do enjoy playing. I'm gonna be playing it forever. It's so fun. It's just so fun. It's so beautiful to look at too. It's just a solid game, and I love it. And yeah, you have a good day. Get out of here. And I have like a title card thing that goes like lol, lol. Overall, okay. So yeah, and then I do all this. You know what's probably the worst of this? There's no music. There's no nothing. I have to talk to myself in a quiet room for however long this takes. That's probably the worst part. That is the worst part. I have to sit here and talk to myself that whole time. Should we get more color? Should probably start this thing, huh? Yeah, probably. How long have I been recording now? Almost 4 minutes? What's wrong with me, bro? Oh my god. Excuse me. Been recording longer than this thing will take me to edit. Because let's be honest, my editing kind of sucks. Yeah, it does. Is this charged? Show off the goods. I'm like Dolly Parton, but you know, if Dolly Parton was like, looking buff. It's gonna take me a minute, and then I gotta make sure that I don't like, you know, go off the green screen. I gotta have it good. It'd be awkward if I did that. I gotta make sure to look you in the eyes. Look you right in the eyes, you know? This is not business. This is pleasure. I gotta look you. How does that look if I look at me? Okay, if I look like that, I don't get like the ring.